What's going on, guys? Welcome to your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report for Friday, April 9th. The IRS says that tax refunds will actually be delayed. Democrats want to completely get rid of the filibuster in order to pass the fourth stimulus check. Infrastructure is now in question, with only 6% of this entire bill actually for infrastructure. We now know there is a huge worry regarding the double mutated strain of COVID virus here in the United States. Many worry that a vaccine, as of right now, will soon be required in order to do certain tasks, and it will be a mandatory thing. And roughly 30% of the United States population has now been vaccinated with at least one dose of the vaccine. This is a crazy world, and as always, I promise we will get through it together. I'm going to give you your stimulus update and daily news for today. As always, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting me here on this channel and continuing to watch and commenting as well. I really like your comments. They're always very kind, so thank you for that. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It does help out. So let's begin. The IRS commissioner has said recently that many tax refunds are actually going to be delayed. The IRS is stating that currently they are behind on stimulus checks. They are still issuing 2019 tax returns, and obviously they're still in the process of receiving and processing 2020 tax returns as well. They say this is all due to the fact that they have less staff and they have more responsibilities. They say they are trying to figure out the child tax credit. However, it's still going to be a challenge. Many say they do not know if this will even happen, especially by July 1st. The good news right now is that the IRS has already stated that they will pay interest on your tax refund if they are delayed over 45 days past the final day of for the deadline day, which currently is May 17th. That means 45 days after that is July 1st. If you have still not received, or actually if you still not, they haven't sent your tax refund for 2020, you will start getting interest on top of that payment. Most likely, the interest payment will come as a separate check. So if you get direct deposit, you should get two different deposits. One would be your tax refund. The second one would be the interest payment. Just keep that in mind. They did that for last year for 2019 taxes filed in 2020. But as of right now, it is still a possibility, but they have stated that it's not a guarantee, because if they do get all the checks out before that, then nobody will receive any interest. We're also getting reports now that Democrats want to completely get rid of the filibuster. They are saying that in order to get the fourth stimulus check passed, the best way to get this passed is to completely get rid of the filibuster. In order to do that, chances are, first off, it's probably not going to happen, because right now Joe Manchin is dead set against getting rid of the filibuster. He says it would create too many issues, and we'd see a huge shift from one extreme to the other based on who has power, not only in the House and the Senate, but the presidency as well. We do know that we only need 51 votes to get rid of the filibuster. That means every single Democrat would have to vote against it, but right now there's at least 3 Democrats that will not do that. They have publicly stated they will not vote against it. So we'll have to see what happens there, but what some are saying is, if we can't get rid of the filibuster, which I'm just going to tell you, I think that's highly unlikely at this point, the only way to get a fourth stimulus check into the next bill, and right now the only proposal for a fourth stimulus check is $2,000 per month for the entirety of the pandemic, and $1,000 per month for every single eligible American for 1 year after the pandemic is over. So that's the only proposal at this time. The problem is it's considered to be very expensive. Some saying that estimates on this could easily be $10 trillion. That is a lot. $10 trillion for, again, I think it would really help out. It would do a lot of good, but this would also cause more speculation on inflation. And I don't want to get into that. Inflation is one of those things. It's one of those words that, in the stock market world, on Wall Street, you don't want to hear inflation. You hear inflation, you think, okay, everything's just going to come dropping down. So We're not going to get into that. That'll be for a different video, but that is one of the worries. So we will see there's chances of a fourth stimulus check, but getting rid of the filibuster would not work. The next option, probably the best option, is to get a fourth stimulus check included into the infrastructure bill, because right now, 94% of the infrastructure bill is not for infrastructure. It's things like free community college, child tax credits, forgiving the student loan debt. So things that aren't even technically infrastructure. Democrats say this is infrastructure. It's just a different type of infrastructure, which kind of goes back to the same thing when Democrats were saying we did get bipartisanship on the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, but it wasn't from Congress. It was from the American people, the voters and governors. So if you change the definitions, yes, we can probably figure out why this is all considered infrastructure. Another big issue right now is the infrastructure bill. And this is a big one because as of right now, President Biden is being pushed to cancel up to $50,000 in student debt. But some right now are saying that the only chance he has of doing this is through an executive order. That there is no way all 50 Senate Democrats will vote to support $50,000 in student debt or student loan forgiveness. Others are currently worrying that by trying to include this into the infrastructure bill, Joe Manchin is going to completely go against and oppose the infrastructure bill, which as of right now, he is not supportive of. He says that 28% for a corporate tax hike is too much. It should be somewhere around 25%. And then we need a complete overhaul of the tax code as well. And in regards to COVID, here's a big thing. Here's a big story that's been coming out over the past couple of days. What we know right now is there is a double mutated strain of COVID. It was first detected in California. There's 5 more cases throughout the United States, and this is causing many issues. Right now, this is technically 2 mutations combined together, which is why it's the double mutated strain. It's not just one mutated strain, it's going to happen twice, combine it together. The issue right now is experts say that the information that they have on each mutation has been studied significantly. The problem, though, is when you combine 2 mutations together, it makes the virus harder to fight, and these will spread more easily. And this is also something that they haven't been able to study. Until they can actually study this, that's where it's becoming a bigger issue. Some say the worry right now is that the COVID vaccines will be less effective. Not that they might. They will be less effective in protecting people against the double mutated strains. So, experts still say they highly recommend you get the vaccine because it will help at least some. And a lot of people have been asking me about the vaccines and whether or not this is going to be a requirement. I told you guys before, New York State is currently doing something called the Excelsior Pass, where they are requiring people to go in, if you want to go into certain businesses or arenas or things like that, you have to show a pass that shows that you have been vaccinated and that you have not tested positive for COVID in so many days. Well, I can tell you that right now the vaccine passport is just an idea. A lot of people plan on doing it. Europe plans on doing something very similar, and this could be implemented in certain businesses in some states. Most likely it will be a Democratic state. If you live in a Democratic state, chances are you could have to deal with this. If you live in a Republican state, chances are you won't. We already know Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, he's already done an executive order to ban a vaccine passport requirement. So if you live in Florida, at least you would not have to worry about that. What I can tell you right now is the federal government at this time is not going to require this. But again, this is something that even though Dr. Anthony Fauci said the government is not looking at doing this, this could ultimately change depending on what the numbers look like coming up. So we will see what happens there. Although some states aren't going to do this, aren't going to require a vaccine or a vaccine passport, we have been hearing that there's a handful of colleges that are now requiring their students, their staff, and volunteers all to be vaccinated even before they step foot on campus. Some say this is not legal, but others say that this is something that needs to be done, and other colleges are gearing up to do the exact same thing. So if you go to colleges, or if you go to a college, then you might have to consider getting a vaccine, because some colleges will not let anybody on campus. This includes students, staff, volunteers, and obviously visitors as well. I didn't include that, but that is there. What we know right now is roughly 33% of the U.S. population has received at least one dose of the vaccine, of a vaccine. Whether it's Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, or Moderna, it doesn't matter. At least 33% have got at least one dose. President Biden expects this number to drastically increase very soon as states begin to open up vaccinations to all adults on April 19th. One thing I can say there is some states are already saying they're not going to meet this deadline. They were planning on May 1st, like President Biden originally stated, so that was their plan. They're not going to bump it up about 2 weeks just to beat this deadline. They will try, but it's not considered likely. Right now, the question that many people have on their mind is not when can we go back to normal, but what will the new normal look like? This is what many experts are saying. Right now, many businesses are not even recalling their employees back. They don't want them to come back to work because they have found new ways to operate with less overhead, and they don't need their employees back. We know cruise lines are trying to get the federal government to allow them to start sailing once again and very soon. We know airlines are still being overbooked compared to the amount of staff they currently have on hand. And the unemployment rate, even though it's going down, which looks great, when you read into the numbers, experts say that the numbers are not actually much better than what they look like. The numbers are worse than what we are currently being told. So everything right now obviously is a little strange. This is not the new normal. We are not there yet. We are still seeing some changes, a little bit of modifications in more ways than one, and chances are, experts say, this will continue for the rest of 2021. But as always, I promise we will get through this together. All I ask is, if you want these daily updates, stimulus check updates, and news reports, all you gotta do, click that subscribe button down below. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated. And that's it. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one.